Now some first-hand perspective on the horrors of this fire. We have video sent to us from one Kern River Valley woman. Lindsay Wilson was shooting video as her family evacuated from their home. Take a look.
My house. I don't know. This is not good. It's on fire. Neighbors are on fire. Oh God. God help us. Oh God, it's gonna hop the road. Oh God. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Easy, easy. Easy. Oh God, it hopped. Right, I don't know if we can get out of the valley.
We can get out, sweetie. You gotta believe, you gotta trust. Make positive thoughts.
Oh, I don't know if we can get out. Oh God, we can't get out. Oh no. Oh my God, we're trapped. This is my home.
On the phone right now, we have Lindsay Wilson joining us this morning. Good morning, Lindsay. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. How are you?
Good morning, Colina. I'm hanging in there. It's emotional to listen to that.
You know, I was about to say the same exact thing. That is some of the most powerful video, and just listening to your voice, you can genuinely hear the concern and the panic in your voice. And I know at the end we heard you cry. What is it like listening and seeing that back right now, and how are you feeling?
I have a lot of anxiety right now. I keep flashing back to those moments. It was all such a blur, and at the same time so vivid, but just so horrifying and terrifying. We stayed very late because there was a fire that started at the edge of our property, and
oh wow!
Thank God for some neighbors and my dad and my husband that helped fight that, while my mom and I could try to evacuate 12 animals. And I think we were probably one of the last to leave Squirrel Valley. You guys probably saw that we had to go through a wall of smoke. There was fire on both sides of us, a telephone pole about to fall right on us.
Mm-hmm.
And we, I think, just made it through, and it was really harrowing and horrifying.
How did you actually know or hear about the fire? Did you smell the smoke? Did you see it? Did someone come knock on your door?
I will tell you that it was really eerie because I was across the lake in Kernville at the time, and all of a sudden just a whole army of fire trucks went by at such a fast pace, and I looked at my husband and I said, "That's not good." And within seconds of seeing them go by, I saw the smoke across the lake. We immediately got in the car. We knew which way the wind was blowing. At that point, it was more in the Isabella area, and we started driving as fast as we could. By that time, I got a phone call from my dad telling us about the fire, and he said it was already coming over Cook Peak at that time into our valley. It went that fast.
Jeez. So you mentioned that your dad was in that area. Was he able to get out okay? Were you able to get in contact with your other family members and neighbors in that area?
We're still struggling to reach neighbors. I'm sure you guys know that AT&T towers are down, which has been a primary frustration, as well as the landlines and power lines. So we have a really hard time reaching our neighbors and understanding if they're okay. Mm-hmm. We did leave in a caravan from my place. My dad was still trying to fight the fire, and that was part of my horror was, you know, I successfully saw my mom get through that wall of smoke. We went through, and I never saw my dad come through until maybe 20 minutes later when we went to our safety point, which was South Lake. And at that point, we knew we had to get out of there because the fire had already reached them and was moving very quickly. Horrifying.
Gosh, I can't even imagine that. You know, you could hear, I'm guessing that's your husband in the video with you. You could hear him tell you to have faith and be strong and stay positive and give out those positive vibes. Was that helpful as you were driving through to just kind of be a team in this situation?
You know, he is such a balance for me, and he's so strong and so calm. And I think in the moment it did help, but you can't help having those underlying feelings of, I don't know if my dad made it through. I think my home is going, because the last that I saw, our property was on fire, and I think they helped at some level, but I was very emotional at the time.
So have you heard anything about when they're going to let you back to actually see if your home is still standing? No?
My parents were actually able to get through. They needed much needed medication yesterday, and we did get very good news that the home is standing. There is some damage,
Okay.
But it is standing, and we are very grateful, but our immediate neighbors were not so lucky.
You know, that just reminds us, you hear about fire season coming. This could happen to you. Take precautions, be prepared. You know, it really seems like, especially based on your video, regardless of those warnings, no one really expected this type of fire to happen at its capacity.
No, my family has been up in this area for decades, going back to my great-grandparents, and no one has ever seen anything of this magnitude before. You know, we've seen fires over the years, of course, and in a, dry climate and lots of brush, it can be expected, but this is not like anything anyone has ever seen.
Now, you mentioned you had animals that you needed to get out of that area. Were you able to do that successfully?
We were able to do that successfully, and I don't think that would have been possible had my husband and I not just come up to visit my family, because we had a fire on the property that they were working hard to put out, while that freed up my mom to get horses and very stubborn cats. And, you hear so many people that just said we had to leave them behind. There was nothing we could do. We couldn't get them out. And I feel so much for those people.
So at this moment, where exactly are you? Are you at one of the evacuation centers? Have you been able to go back to one of your other relatives' homes in general?
We are staying across the lake with a family friend in Woodford Heights, who is taking us and some of our animals in, and then the rest of our animals are spread all over the valley from here to Ridgecrest.
Okay. So again, no word on when you're going to return home, but you did receive word that your home is okay. So, thank you so much for joining us. I can still hear in your voice how you're feeling. So we really do appreciate it, and wish you the best.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys take care. Thank you.